Hello everyone, and welcome to a new video on the Constructed Criticism YouTube channel. I'm Spencer, host of Constructed Criticism and Limited Time Only, two podcasts about getting better at Magic the Gathering. Today, we're talking about a deck that I played in the past, but did well again, so I tried it again, and a deck that I really enjoy, and that's Green Red Monster Dinosaurs. So, I don't actually know what to call this deck. It is the Green Red Monsters deck, but it is dinos instead of regular monsters. So let's get started. We have two Heart of Kiran. So this is a card that is actually pretty unimpressive to me. I think that it is important because it gives you more game against wrath style effects, specifically Fumigate. So it's something that I think that the deck might need as a necessary evil more than something that the deck wants. But, it certainly can win you some games, right? The board gets clogged up. You're able to sit there and play with Heart of Kiran pretty effectively. I don't think that the deck wants very many of these. There would be worlds in which I would consider playing 0 or even one of them rather than 2. But I do think that right now it's probably a necessary evil. We have 4 Deathgorge Scavengers. This card, so I played this at the store championship at Oasis Games this week. Just trying to test it out for a friend to take to the GP in Seattle, and I was really impressed with Deathgorge Scavenger in the main. It was able to attack in a lot of matchups, pressuring their life total or padding mine, between the removal spells and my interaction. I was pretty happy with it. I will say that I did not expect to be as happy with Deathgorge Scavenger as I was, but I think that, the reason you've seen it in so many sideboards is because it's a good card, but, just in this deck, being able to pressure your opponent, interact with them in a meaningful way through their graveyard, remove things out of the way for this with your removal spells, it really does pack a punch. We have 2 Ghalta, the Primal Hunger. This is the big Mac Daddy of them all in this deck, a 12/12 for 12 with trample. If you have a Regisaur Alpha in play, you're able to immediately play this and attack with it. Just from the Regisaur Alpha, you don't need any extra mana. The 7 plus the 5 gets you there. I was pretty impressed with Ghalta. You win a lot of the games where you play it. And the thing is that their Vraska's Contempts are so stressed that Ghalta is really good. They have so many things that they want to Vraska's Contempt. Harness Lightning, that's really hard for them to get to 12, so, while that card is usually a Doomblade, it really doesn't work on this card. And, Abrades and things like that don't kill it, so it's just huge. Basically just Vraska's Contempt cast out and Nixlong's Binding is kind of all you get. We have 4 Merfolk Branchwalker. This is another card that I don't love. I'm going to be playing some leagues with this deck. And I hope to try Drover of Mighty in the slot. Play another dinosaur to play Drover of Mighty and see if I like that better. But it was good enough. Being able to dig through your deck a little bit, put cards in your graveyard that you don't want, make those land drops that are important to you, as well as just being a 2-drop is really good. Like, to be honest, the deck doesn't have a lot of early cards, so Merfolk Branchwalker kind of fills that role nicely. Regisaur Alpha, we already mentioned this a little bit, but I think this card is really good. It's taking the place of, Glorybringer in this deck, and I think that this is way more fun to play with. So, Glorybringer is really good. It's a great card. I think we had it as number 1 on our set review. We said there was no way it wouldn't be a 4 of it, a bunch of standard decks and all that. And that's fine. I love Glorybringer. You can love Glorybringer. We all love Glorybringer. For Regisaur Alpha, it's just a good time. You put it into play, you attack for 3. You play another Regisaur Alpha, you attack for 14. You play a Ghalta, you attack for, 20 something. I mean, there were games where I was attacking for, my opponent's like, how much is that? And I was like, 30, 32 or whatever. I think there was one turn I attacked for 24, one turn I attacked for, 18. Regisaur Alpha, it's a good time, guys. It's a good time. Also, being able to play dinosaurs at this part of your curve for your commune with the dinosaurs is really good. I mean, you just get to grab these big, powerful, dumb things for 1 mana, which you just can't do right now with Glorybringer. Rekindling Phoenix, however, is good enough to stay on the deck. So we do have the full 4 Rekindling Phoenix in the deck still. There's just not good enough dinosaurs at this spot of the curve. and being able to have this flyer that's really hard to deal with and simulate a little bit of card advantage for you, and still, like I said, be pressuring those Vraska's Contempts is really important for this deck and is really key to a success. So I think that Rekindling Phoenix is, while it's not a dinosaur, plays a very important role in the deck. We have one Rhonas. This is something that I cut down on. I think that while playing 2 Rhonas makes a lot of sense because you want to draw one. Like, the card is very good, very powerful. The problem is that when you draw the second one, it is basically discarding a card, and or skipping a draw step. And the thing is that with this deck, with these style of red-green mid-range decks, you don't have enough draw steps and enough simulated card advantage to be wasting draw steps. So while that first one is so good and you're going to love it in a lot of matchups, I do think that you only want the one, because the second one isn't worth the risk. We have 2 Thrashing Brontodons in the main. This is a card that I think could fluctuate between the number of versions of the numbers that you want of it in the main versus the side. But man, is this card good or what? A 3/4 for 3, 1 mana sacrifice. Like, when this card was spoiled, I was really surprised that something this efficient would be given to us. And it creeping into main deck play kind of just shows its efficiency. It's just a good Magic card. For the removal spells in the interaction package, we have 3 Abrade, 2 Blossoming Defense, 2 Magma Spray, 2 Struggle to Survive. So, the Magma Sprays, I'm playing an extra one over the 4th Abrade just because I really wanted more turn 1 plays, going up a little bit. It probably doesn't matter, to be honest with you, between Abrade and Magma Spray, and I could just be wrong. It could just be that you want the other Abrade. As far as Struggle to Survive, though, this has been a card that really impressed me. When I started seeing it out of people, I was like, man, that seems so bad. And then, I played with it a couple times, and I played with it a couple more times. And honestly, this card just fills such a needed role in these red-green decks that I would have never expected to be this good. The card does everything you need. It's able to deal with those big creatures that you can't deal with. It's able to, interact with your opponent's graveyard in meaningful ways, kill Scarab Gods. The card just does so much work. I'm really happy with it in my 75. The last spells that we have in the deck right now are 1 Chandra Torch of Defiance and 4 Commune with Dinosaurs. So Chandra's one that I really wanted a diversified threat / removal / card advantage engine. The thing is that this deck is obviously really weak to Wrath effects. That's one of the reasons that Heart of Kiran and Rhonas are so important to the deck. But I wanted something a little bit different, a little bit of a different spot on the curve, a little bit higher end, that can also just gain me advantages throughout the game. There are games where you get into really clogged board states, and in those games, I really wish that I had a Chandra in my deck, in the main deck specifically. So I've went ahead and included 1 Chandra. Commune with the Dinosaurs, we're playing, I think, 1 too few dinosaurs for it to be at its best. Or I think we're playing 12, and it really wants about 13 I think it's 13 to 18 makes this card really good. So we're just shy, of where we want to be. But, you got to play less lands by playing this card. When it does hit, you're always hitting something super awesome. You love all of the dinosaurs in your deck. So, and you can board into a lot more dinosaurs. For the lands, we're playing 7 Forest, 2 Hashep Oasis, 7 Mountain, 4 Rootbound Crag, and 3 Sheltered Thicket. The land base is pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. For the sideboard, we're playing 2 Lifecrafter Bestiaries, 2 Atzocan Archers, 2 Carnage Tyrant, 1 more Thrashing Brontodon, 3 Chandra's Defeat, 1 more Magma Spray, 1 more Struggle to Survive, 1 more Chandra, and 2 Sweltering Suns. So, to be honest, this deck does a really good job of extending your main deck into your sideboard. Even Carnage Tyrant does that. Between Thrashing Brontodon, Carnage Tyrant, Chandra's Defeat, Magma Spray, Struggle to Survive, Chandra's... I think that the deck does a good job of just being like, okay, these are just cards that I want more of these type of effects in certain matchups, so here's more types of these effects. Then you have haymakers like Lifecrafter Bestiary and Sweltering Suns. And then you kind of wrap a nice little bow on it with Atzocan Archer, which is just kind of a diverse card for, whether it's against the tokens decks, whether it's against the mono red decks. It allows you to not have to play more Sweltering Suns, but, kind of play something that gums up the ground for longer while you draw into your Sweltering Suns, your removal spells. So overall, I'm really happy with the deck, really happy with the sideboard. This is the deck that I'm going to be playing in PPTQs for the next couple of weeks, so maybe I'll do a video on that later. But yeah, really fun deck. Shout out to Volkswagen for doing well with this style of deck. I mean, he's got a ton of 5-0s, as well as, went undefeated at the mock. So leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Don't forget to check out patreon.com/ccmtg, patreon.com/ltomtg, and patreon.com/easygamemedia to support us. And don't forget to check out our podcast at constructedcriticism.com. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you guys all next week.